Hello and welcome to Game Soup. Welcome to Game Soup Classic Analysis. We're playing NES games. In this series, we focus on off-the-cuff analysis of classic games, and we feel like there's a lot to learn from these old games. And let's just get started.
Yeah, let's go ahead. So this is Kung Fu, originally titled Kung Fu Master in the arcade, which is what Wikipedia told us.
Right. It was originally released in 1984.
Thanks, Wikipedia.
And later on released for NES, I believe in 87.
Okay, so what do we have here? Okay,
so games before both of our times, really.
Yeah. Okay, so this is these controls are.
You just punch guys in the. Looks like you're just kind of crotch punching guys here.
You pretty much are. So B kicks, A punches, and you jump by pressing up, which is not awkward at all.
So that's kind of an archaic control scheme when you had so few buttons to work with.
Yeah.
They would make up jump in some very rare old games. It does work for
that's cool.
For one-on-one fighting games like Street Fighter type of games.
Right.
It does work in those kind of games, but in this game, it's probably a little bit clunky. You're used to just pressing the A button to jump in a game like this.
It's really, really clunky. It's got that same Castlevania style of once you jump, you're committed to the jump forever.
Right, jump commitment.
You're gonna marry that jump, have children with it, and die very old with it. Like it's over.
So while it's not exactly realistic in real life, if you make a jump, you're pretty much committed to that jump. You can't change direction in midair.
Oh God. Also, I like that
but
he has.
In games, it's much better to be able to change your jump path in midair.
Right. It's a huge boon. But I guess in this game you don't really need it. It looks like there's only one platform. Doesn't look like there's any bottomless pits. There might be later on. Also, he has 2 frames of animation for his walk.
It might be for like jump kicking. Can you jump kick?
You can.
Yeah. So I guess it's maybe a strategy of jump kicking.
You can also jump punch, because that's not useful at all. Can you imagine in real life if there was a situation that called for jump punching?
The sound effects are the same as Kung Fu Heroes for NES.
Wait, really?
Yeah. It's exactly the same punching sound effect. I'm almost positive.
Oh. Wait. That sound?
Yeah. All the sound effects, actually.
Oh, really?
Most of them. It sounds very similar.
Is that by the same company?
No.
What? What do you mean, no?
I think we're finding sound effect theft.
That's not the answer.
NES games.
That's not the answer I was expecting. Okay, this is it's kind of hard. I guess you just have to keep going.
So I guess, there's some pretty basic strategy. There's something to be said for very basic types of enemies. You don't want to get too complicated with enemies. This might be a case of extremely simple enemies.
Yeah, every enemy seems to take, so far.
These guys hold you, it looks like.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard to tell.
They give you a hug.
They kind of freeze you from moving and maybe drain your life, it looks like.
So this guy can throw knives at you. Yeah, okay, so you do get a little bit, okay.
So I think that's the strategy
here.
Oh
my God, all right. It's not easy to control. But it looks so easy. Oh, there's music too.
Yeah, the music is kind of repetitive, kind of competitive. I almost said it was competitive. So in Japan, this game was called Spartan X, and it was based on a Jackie Chan movie called Wheels on Meals.
Wheels on Meals.
This is, I did not know that. Those guys are sort of boss type of guys, I think. If I've played this game before, I've played it very, very briefly, because I have some memories of it. I might have just seen screenshots of it or something, but I think I have played it, but just very briefly.
Yeah, I can't imagine this would hold your attention for very long.
No. This was, I don't know, I guess this was, it was probably a decent game for its time. It was pretty famous, I think, in its time.
Was it, like, famous or infamous?
Famous. I think it was considered a legit game, but Nintendo games didn't really get good. You had Super Mario Brothers, and then there wasn't a whole lot of good titles until Zelda and Contra came out.
Yeah, it did take a fair amount of time. And we were just looking up the dates for Mario Brothers 3, and that was 1990 in America, and 88 in Japan, so this is still a ways off from that. Oh, this guy. Wait, okay, how are you? All right.
Is there a strategy to that at all? Or does he have an attack pattern?
I don't know.
I guess you'd have to learn.
This guy does, but here we go.
So this is kind of a rudimentary look at basic attack patterns in games. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing I noticed about this game is that these graphics are a little primitive, which I guess is understandable.
Yeah, they hadn't really figured out how to draw really awesome graphics on the Nintendo yet.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say really awesome. No Nintendo game looks really awesome.
Oh my God! What?
Oh, I think you have to. Oh, this is the snake level.
What? Oh, you have to jump over these. What?
Yeah, these sound effects are exactly the same. Almost everything is from Kung Fu Heroes.
What is happening? What? I have no idea what just
I think
happened.
this is kind of just a trial and error thing. Back then, they didn't really explain
Oh my
things
God.
to you too well. And they didn't really ease the player in. You kind of just had to keep... And there wasn't that many games. So you kind of had to just ease the... There was no reason to ease the player in because they
Right.
would just keep playing it. I mean, if
Right.
you bought this game or you rented it, that's it. You're stuck with it for the weekend or
Yeah.
for what
Oh my God.
the length of the time you have your NES.
I think I read on the Wikipedia page that there are only 5 floors.
Actually, I knew that.
This is floor number 2.
I remember knowing about that. I think I might have had a strategy guide that had this in it or something.
So if you're an expert at this game, God forbid, I don't know why you would be, but if you were, you
I'm
could.
sure there's somebody that's good at it that's
Yeah.
done a speed run.
I guarantee there's a speed run out there of Kung Fu, and it's probably like 6 minutes.
So, and the music is extremely repetitive.
A child, look at these.
You don't want to do that. Yeah, I think these are kids.
Why
or
are we
midgets.
killing these children?
So what's their attack pattern? They seem to be pretty similar to...
I think they just run forward at you. That's what I would do if I were a child. Look at that guy.
So maybe they don't
Alright.
hold you. Maybe they just run towards you.
Maybe.
So it's a pretty basic game.
It is.
There's really...
Wonder if B-side's any different. Doesn't seem like it. Yeah, it's really basic. I'm amazed at how basic it is. Wow, it's very simple.
Yeah,
Simplistic.
I don't think Double Dragon was even out yet at this point. So this is kind of where Double Dragon, I think, in like just brawler type of games came from.
I guess, yeah. This is probably the first of its kind, I'm guessing. Otherwise, why would it be so popular? You know, but Double Dragon, I guess, came, maybe shortly after this. I'm not really sure.
Yeah,
But that
pretty
has-
shortly after.
That has much, much more depth.
Right.
Especially Double Dragon 2, but that was a couple years afterwards, I assume. Oh my god.
Yeah, Double Dragon was the first multi-plane brawler type of game. The game that really set the standard for brawlers. It wasn't a good game by modern standards.
Hey.
But it was the first game to attempt that genre.
Alright, well, I think I've seen enough. Wow.
So let's go on to the next game with Kung Fu in the title.
Let's.
And that game is Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu.
So you have a lot of experience with this game, and it is by Hudson Soft, who are known for Adventure Island, right?
Right.
I did not know that.
This is much better than Adventure Island. It does have a little bit similar feel to the control. So here's the story. It's pretty basic.
I really like the graphical style in this game.
Jackie Chan's Chinese girlfriend gets abducted, and he immediately runs to the right
Immediately.
because he knows that's where he took her, to the right.
To the right. Where else could he possibly,
So here you
I don't know.
you actually have to press a button to get him to move. So you can meditate for as long as you want.
Aww.
Bow to your master. So you get like a little story here. It's pretty neat.
Did this come out after
have the
Adventure Island?
scroll.
I assume it
I'm pretty sure.
did,
Yeah,
Based
I'm pretty
on
sure this is much later than Adventure Island.
Because graphically, this is very complex. Really nice.
Yeah, it's one of the better looking Nintendo games. This is one of my, I'd say probably one of my top favorite Nintendo games.
Also, something I've always thought about this game, look how Jackie Chan is huge in this game. Why is the character model is gigantic? They all are, in fact.
Yeah.
Do you ever compare this to, like Mario? In Mario Brothers would be half his size. You know?
Right. I think it's so that they could have fit more on the screen, more action on the screen is the... But here they focus more on making better graphical quality.
Yeah.
You fall through these floors here. You can kind of see that it happens while it's happening.
And he's got so many frames of animation compared to Kung Fu.
Right. Yeah, they were really focusing on graphics, I think, with this game. But also the gameplay is very solid. The control is... It's not 100% acceleration. It doesn't go 0 to max immediately. It's a little bit slidey, but not very.
Ooh.
So this is a bonus stage.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, it's a little trippy, huh?
A little trippy. Special stage. Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
Yeah, it tells you how to do it. Like, this is kind of a...
Without words.
One of the earlier games... Oh, shoot.
Oh.
One of the... Shoot. One of the earlier games that had a tutorial kind of thing in it.
How's the jumping? It looks better. Yeah.
Yeah, you can control your jumping. The jumping is pretty solid in the game.
So why are you jumping on
It's a little bit floaty, but it works for this game.
Okay.
The more of them you jump on, the more points you get at the end. I'm doing terribly. I used to be able to get all of them, but...
I guess points...
I was trying to go back and get that one, but...
Points give you like... Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
you
see.
can buy one-ups. It's got a little store here.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
So it automatically buys the best thing you could afford.
Okay.
So I guess I got a one-up. Alright.
So it looks like you have...
I guess I did fair enough.
What's that icon in the bottom center? Does that mean lives?
That's your special attack, which I was going to get to. This is an up and B. Up and B kind of game. So
Okay.
That was an old way of getting more buttons out of only 2 main buttons. So I'm actually going to use it on this guy. It's
Nice.
very good against this tiger here.
Seems powerful.
And I got a new attack. I forget exactly what this one is. Oh, that is this one. Okay, I think I gave up my other spin kick for this one without realizing it.
How about those orbs that you're collecting? Like you have 11 of them now?
Oh, those are for your... I think they're for your charge attack. No, your charge attack is that 5... that 5 dots right there. Yeah, you can hold B and do a charge attack in this game, which is pretty awesome.
Jackie Chan,
There's a lot to this game.
Yeah.
This is kind of a... It's not unknown.
I know.
This is... it's not like a little known classic, but it's... I think it's best to do charge attacks here, actually, to get rid of those things. To get rid of those nunchucks.
Now, I've never heard anybody else talk about this game.
Yeah, I don't hear too much about it, but I don't think it's an unknown game, and it's one of the better side scrollers for NES, in my opinion. Also, very good music,
And it's based, like Jackie Chan, he's such a cool dude. It's what it's based on. Uh-oh.
It's not. It's called Jackie Chan's Action Kung Fu, but it doesn't have a whole lot to do with Jackie Chan, except that the main character looks kind of like him.
Yeah, and not even really. I guess with the haircut.
Actually, my one of my friends a long time ago had a joke that I look like the main character in the game.
You know, you could pass for him if you just dressed like he did. I could see that. Hair and everything. This is Joe's Action Kung Fu now.
Yeah.
Just move over, Jackie Chan. Joe's got your number.
This is probably my favorite song in the game, and also this is one of those the screen chases you kind of stages.
Whoa.
Which you saw appear from time to time in old games and in new games still, and it kind of gives a sense of urgency, and the music adds to that. Adds to that sense of urgency in the game. So if you have like a level like this, you'll notice it in like Kid Chameleon has a similar kind of thing, like a sense of urgency in the Kid Chameleon for Sega Genesis.
Right.
Is a game that had stages like this, and the music added to it. It was even more intense than that, though, in my opinion. But
Yeah, that was like horror movie intense. This is really nice. Not a whole lot of graphical glitching. Everything, there's a decent amount of animation. Really nice character models. That frog just dropped ramen. Looks like.
Like a bowl. Those bowls give you health.
Oh.
So the orbs, I kind of forget what they do now, actually, because the circles are the things that give you your charge attack. So I believe we're almost to the boss. I want to get what this guy drops.
Oh, what's that? Oh,
it's a different attack. Upward attack.
Oh, those little fish.
I might not kill the boss. I only have 2 life left. But the boss has kind of a neat attack pattern. It's basic, but it's pretty effective, I think. The way that they designed it. He's got these these goofy arms with the multiple parts.
Oh.
They used to do that to make.
Oh.
They used to use that kind of a graphical effect.
Wait, that's it? Game over?
Yeah, but if I hit continue, I will get another shot at the boss.
Oh, there's a checkpoint system, I guess?
Yeah. So this game really was kind of ahead of its time. I mean, it kind of it introduced. I don't know if it introduced any of these concepts on its own, but it combined a lot of really good concepts that Nintendo games had come up with collectively up to that point, and really combined everything in a way that was that made it one of the better games of the genre in that time.
Yeah, this is. I was just thinking back to like the original Super Mario Brothers. You think about how simple the characters looked, and like how simple Goombas look, and even Mario himself wasn't that detailed. And I love that these character designs are much bigger, because you can see the emotion. You can see when
you can see his facial. He actually has a face. Most old characters either don't have a face or they've like Mario, he's got a mustache, so you can tell it's a face. Basically.
Yeah. And like Mega Man has pretty much one expression on his face, which is just straight line for a mouth. But here, there's a lot of emotion just in the character model. So, is character model the right term? Maybe like the sprite, the animations.
Yeah, sprite. So it would be called sprite in 2D games.
This is very nice.
And these got these crumbly things. It's very, very well indicated that it's going to fall out from under you. If you ever played a video game, you would notice. And even if you hadn't played a video game, you would notice.
Yeah.
The lava also doesn't kill you. It kind of just burns your ass and
takes 1 damage. It looks like.
Yeah, and this guy summons. He can summon stalactites from the ceiling to fall on you if there are stalactites above, which there weren't there.
Oh, that's nice.
So that's kind of that might be one of the few things that's a little bit that's inconsistent about the game. That might be a little bit confusing to a player that you might not want to do. Is make him drop stalactites only in certain parts.
Right.
So I mean that's a very tiny thing. So here, that's where it gets kind of difficult because you have to duck from that and dodge this.
That is interesting.
And avoid falling.
Duck under the
duck under the fire and avoid falling because of these.
So these blocks.
One thing about these blocks is that you do sort of fall through them a little bit too easily, in my opinion. I noticed that I kind of fell through it when I feel like I should have probably stayed on it. So again, we've got some more intense platforming here just because it's scrolling. If you force the player to move forward, whether with enemies chasing the player or just the simple way like making the screen scroll, you increase the player's heart rate. I guess you make it a little bit more adrenaline, I guess.
I'm comparing.
A little bit more stressful. That's the word I'm looking for the player.
I'm thinking about, the blocks in Mario Brothers, the donut blocks that sort of...
Oh, here's where it's inconsistent. See how he summons these? Yeah, donut blocks. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, when those are about to fall, they like squirm around and jiggle a little bit, which is a really good visual indicator that they're about to fall and you need to move.
Right.
But in this game, you don't really get that indicator, so the sides of the block just sort of crumble away and fall apart. So I feel like it might be a little more beneficial for the player in this case to have the animation there, the jiggling animation or whatever, because here you're not really given an indication of when the block's about to sort of fall apart. So I mean, there were a couple times, and like if you just stand on these blocks, you might fall through them completely. But there could have been maybe a little bit more indication, especially for that part. When you kind of have to bide your time on those blocks anyway. It'd be nice to be able to tell when you're about to run out of time. That's just, I don't know, a minor gripe, maybe.
Yeah.
They don't really have enough animation to clue you into what's happening.
Another thing that I like was the transition between this. I mean, it's kind of weird that you go from a fire stage straight to an ice stage. That is that is a little bit weird, but the pacing of the game, when they give you a stressful part, like the part where where you're trying to not fall into lava and the bottom of the screen is scrolling up. And then they give you a little breather after that. Like if the entire game was like that, I mean, there are games that are like that are just non-stop action.
Ooh.
But it is in a game like this, I think in a side scroller especially, that is made for a mass audience, I guess is.
Yeah,
I think it's a good thing to break up the pacing a little bit as you go.
I hadn't considered that. That's a really good point.
So here we've got kind of an early indicator type of attack here. Nowadays we have like a red line sometimes for when an attack's coming at you, but here you can see the lava under it pops up a little bit where it's going to fall. I don't know if you noticed that.
I didn't notice that. I'll have to look.
Then he sends this stomper thing at you. So it's pretty simple. I mean, you can do this on the first try probably if you play through it and you're good.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't notice that lava thing.
Generally good at video games. So, well, we played this for a lot longer than I expected.
Yeah, that's 2 levels. I guess we can call it here. Move on to the third and final game.
There's so much to talk about in this game that like this level expands a little bit. It's you ride on this and it takes you up to the next area. This is one of the more frustrating levels in the game because if you fall down, you have to actually do the earlier part again. So there's no punishment in taking damage, but there's a punishment in that you have to redo an area, which can be a little bit frustrating for the player. I kind of try to stay away from that, but
I think it's still better than death, though. Like Shovel Knight does that a lot too.
Yeah, it's interesting and different than the rest of the game. And that one falls straight down. It's not. It does it slowly enough that it's not too annoying. So if you're gonna do like falling platforms and like all the other platforms that look like it, all these turtle shells, they all look like platforms that are going to stick around. So if you are going to make it fall slow, so
Yeah.
the player has time to react and not be frustrated. And they did that here. So also I knew that it falls. I've played this a lot of times before.
So you've beaten this game before?
A bunch of times, yeah.
How many levels is it? We're in the 3rd one now, so...
I think there are 5 main levels, if I remember right. It has been a pretty long time since I played it. And we know that these fall because the ones before it fell that hovered and looked like it.
Yeah, it's always better to start in a safe environment with those falling blocks,
Right,
you know?
you can tell, like, the area before wasn't too bad of an area, like something you were going to fall. And this one actually doesn't fall, so that's a little confusing to the player.
Yeah.
Maybe color the shells differently, but it's probably limited by the color palette, the number of colors they could put on screen on the NES.
Well, we have green and red here. They could have done a 3rd color like blue, you know? But, I mean, I guess the whole background is blue. Jackie Chan is blue.
Right.
But, I mean, come on.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the color in this game either. Oh, my.
Yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
There's so much to say. The color is very good. The contrast is good. This is really satisfying. The timing here, all it is you're just pressing B, but the timing is nice and it's fun.
Oh, okay, so you actually can control this. You have to jump off. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that you can walk in the water here, right?
Yeah, the water pulls you along.
Oh, that's
so there's a lot.
Cool,
there's a lot of detail in the game. There's a lot of detail to the control, to the environments, and they don't reuse a whole ton of areas. Like they could reuse these sprites and have made the game artificially long, but they keep it. They keep it short, and they keep the design nice, and it's just a really good game.
Yeah,
and there's a lot to learn about a lot of positive things to learn about game design from this one. Unlike Kung Fu, which was decent for its time, and I think it broke some ground. But here's an example of a Kung Fu game that has learned from its predecessors. Obviously, like from games like Kung Fu, this is in a similar genre, but does it a lot better. And it's still good by today's standards.
I mean, that takes a lot. That takes a lot of skill to make a game that even today is still worth playing, you know? Like, Kung Fu didn't really present any good gameplay design ideas. It's pretty minimal.
Yeah, I think you could play this game and be inspired and take from it and take from other games that have come since then and learn from it.
And you could design a platformer today that incorporated elements from this, and it would be a good game. You know, like safe zones, alternation of difficult and relatively easy areas.
Right.
And then awesome. I love the graphics in this game, especially this Jackie Chan there on the on the title screen.
Yeah, just very well drawn graphics. Like if a game came out with graphics like this, like as a retro game, like Castle in the Darkness, sort of. That was I guess smaller sprites, but
somebody please remake this, Joe.
I could probably take the sprites from it and make
new sprites, 60 FPS, 1080p. Do it, real fish. All right, well, let's get our last game going here.
And that last game is Kung Fu Heroes. And it's by the same company that did Little Ninja Brothers, which we played briefly on GameSoup in another episode.
So this is by a company called Culture Brain.
And it has very similar control to it.
Okay.
I played this game a lot when I was a kid.
You've played this more than the Little Ninja Brothers?
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever played Little Ninja Brothers pre GameSoup.
All right, well let's get it going here then.
We gotta hit select and hit 2 players.
Whoa.
That's very loud.
Whoa!
Sorry about that, guys. If that came through too loud.
There was no music or anything on that start screen. I wasn't sure what to expect. Whoa!
Oh, shit! I died immediately.
So A punches.
Yeah, A punches and B is sort of a flip kick.
Oh,
remember?
man. Yeah.
Which you can control a little bit in midair. It's a little floaty, and it's not that responsive.
It's better than Castlevania once again.
Control.
Is that a key? What is this key doing? Oh,
go in there quick.
I punched a key, which I think I just died.
That's alright. I'll go in.
So I punched a key, and that made an exit to the level. Right?
It's actually an exit to a bonus stage where you have to punch as many of these balloon-looking apple things as you can. You really want to go for these E's.
Okay.
Now, this game was very confusing to me as a kid because I didn't have an instruction manual, and there's a lot of RPG elements to the game.
It's very confusing to me right now.
You have to collect. Yeah, it is very confusing to the player. They don't explain anything. This is a game where you absolutely need the manual, which is a detriment.
Yeah.
That's an archaic thing.
Yeah.
You want to try and explain to the player whether it's visually or through text and a tutorial, which I'm not a huge fan of just straight tutorials, but if you have to, it's better than nothing. So all these symbols and stuff, I didn't understand what most of this stuff did.
That's from Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Did they just rip that from Mario?
You'll notice that a lot of the sound effects are from Kung Fu, another game that we just played.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. These are exactly from Kung Fu Heroes. I didn't have a lot of experience with. I got a fireball. They're exactly the fireballs from Mario.
Oh my god. Okay, so this game took sound effects from Kung Fu. It took more sound effects from Mario Brothers. And visuals from Mario Brothers.
Yeah, you would almost think that this is like a Chinese bootleg game.
You would think so.
But it has the Nintendo seal quality on it.
It does! How did they approve this?
Yeah, these sucker things, these little... The thing I just stomped on, you might have missed it, but those things, you have to stomp on those. And these are like those pigs from
oh my God.
From Little Samson.
Yeah.
But these are guys with spears. I think they wised up, if this game came after, and made them not look so much like dicks.
Yeah.
You don't want to make... If you're making a game that's... Especially a game that's for all ages, you don't want to make the things...
Was that Little Samson?
The attacks look like, you know...
Uh-oh. I thought that was Little Ninja Brothers, was it not? Was it Little Samson?
A Little Ninja Brothers, I'm sorry, did I say Little Samson?
Yeah. That game had much better graphics than this.
So...
Okay, so...
So far,
what's the goal here? What are we doing?
It's very confusing. I think it's either you have to kill a certain number of enemies or the time just runs out. You just have to survive. I'm pretty sure it's kill a certain number of enemies and you go to the next stage.
All right.
It's not very clear.
No.
Also, I think we missed a bonus stage. I remember there being a bonus stage in here, but it's not too important.
Well, I don't know how to find anything, so just the fact that we're surviving. But I'm
so this is a game that's
dead.
very confusing. And these guys that look like chocolate bars with eyes that are going to be coming out soon, I just killed one. I believe you have to get a certain item. You see that S at the... Oh, you probably don't.
How do I get this one?
You see the top of the screen?
Yeah.
All those power-ups and...
There are a million different symbols.
Yeah. We can't kill these guys. These chocolate bar guys with the eyes unless we get a certain number of, I think, another item to do it. So this game, you would either have to be very smart and have a lot of trial and error, or you need the manual. And actually, I did wind up finding a copy of the manual later on in my life.
Okay.
And it was when I was still playing the game a lot. I mean, this was still like a long time ago. I was like an adult, but it was before there were so many great indie games to play.
Right.
And I would go back to the old games frequently, and I still couldn't figure it out, even with the manual. It's a very, very complex game. I would say complicated. Complex is usually is notated as a good thing. This is
just complicated.
Complicated.
Is that like a meat monster?
And complicated is not necessarily good.
What? No.
Yeah, this guy comes out kind of randomly, and when it's the fourth stage in a world, this is the fourth stage of the first world, so that boss comes out, and I believe you can kill him if you have fireballs or some certain item, but I'm pretty sure we can't kill him yet. We just have to dodge.
Wait, what's this drawer-looking thing? Is this the bar of chocolate you were talking about? It's like a big purple bar. This guy right here?
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, you can hop on him. I think you might even be able to punch him. Yeah, but you need to have a certain enemy, a certain item, which I think is that white S that you can see in the middle at the top of the screen.
White S. Oh, looks like a dollar sign, doesn't it?
Sort of. No, that's a money bag.
I see where
it's
you're
under
looking.
that and to the left a little bit.
Does it spell something like?
No, and there's also a red S, I believe, that you get later that's for defeating other certain enemies. So you really have to take your time playing this game. So if you're a kid, this is going to be an impossible game to play.
Okay, this guy has bazooka? Okay, so what did the colors on the world map, what did the colors mean?
What colors?
Every level is a different color. Did you notice that? Every stage?
It's just a different color.
Question mark. Does that?
And this water here, if you fall in it, you die.
You die, okay.
Which, that's not too bad. I mean, letting the player get killed to learn a lesson is not always the best way to teach how to traverse an environment in a game.
I'm so bad at this game.
But I remember this. Yeah, this game's very confusing. It's actually even more confusing than I remember.
So it looks like
so we got a scroll now.
What? You got
There's a scroll at the top next to that white S at the top, which I think does something else. It might let you kill a certain enemy. There's certain enemies that you actually you can't kill unless you have a certain item, which is not indicated anywhere except in the manual, and I'm not even sure if it's always indicated in there. So,
okay.
and you have to just remember a lot of it. So this game is pretty archaic in its design, and there's not a whole ton to be learned from it. It's if done well, and if explained to the player, you can use those type of things. You can use items that you need to kill a certain enemy, or maybe have certain enemies be weak to certain things at least. Oh yeah,
Wow.
these things.
Look at her.
Yeah, these goofy-looking enemies you can't kill unless you have a certain type of. I think it might be the scroll that we got. We may not have the item to destroy that enemy.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, we can try and see. Yeah, let's go. Let's try and beat this. Or I'll try and beat this level.
All right.
And then I think we'll call it.
Yeah.
Oh, also there's a spin, it's called the miracle kick, I believe, in this game, and it's a.
Okay.
Oops, I got killed by the bullet.
Oh.
I think that actually takes a life from you, so you can die in the bonus stage, which is never good.
No.
I'm not sure if it actually did, so I don't want to judge it too harshly. So how the miracle kick works is you have to press the B button while you're standing still, and then move. And you see how you move farther?
Yeah.
It's basically the same. Oh, okay, we do have the item to kill
Okay.
her.
But that is completely unintuitive. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is, having lost like 10 lives in this game, the hitbox detection is really weird.
Oh, it's
really weird, because
it's another thing we didn't talk about.
Every time you attack, you move forward a little bit, but then you also retract once your animation is over.
Right.
So it looked like I was going to hit the enemy a couple times, and a couple times I just barely missed them, and then took an attack from them.
So what I wanted to do, I should have let that purple lady hit me. I don't know. That purple thing hit me. Because it freezes the character, and that's something that I don't really like in a game unless it can be done, but it's very rare. It should be used very sparingly.
Yeah.
But it freezes the character in place, and that's something that you almost never want to do in a game. And a good game that uses that is Odin Sphere, and I think it suffers from it. It uses a lot of freezing mechanics.
Yeah.
Anytime you take control away from the player, it can be a very frustrating experience.
Yeah.
In a game.
The more action there is currently happening when you take control away, the more frustrating it is. Like Diablo 3, I'll say it suffers a lot from that, because that can be a really, really tense game, and there are moments when you're either slowed, which is
or stunned or something.
Yeah, stunned, slowed, or frozen, and they make you kind of rage a little bit, you know.
You can also use this miracle kick, the button where the attack where you hold the button and then press a direction. You can use that to traverse over the level if you need to get to the exit or get to a certain point quickly. It can be used for multiple uses. Yeah, I kind of have this game ingrained in me because I knew to jump over that, and I knew that was coming. So I played this a lot. This was one of the bad games that I played a lot.
Yeah, well, I like that Little Ninja Brothers took a lot of the same elements. That seemed vastly improved, though. Even the combat was, I mean, it was only last week that we played it, but I think it was much better.
Right.
I'll have to go back and look at it again.
And some of these blocks, when you punch them, you can shoot them. But that one I punched once, it didn't fire, and then I punched it again, and it did.
Yeah, maybe that's another hitbox thing, maybe?
No, you just can't shoot all of them. Sometimes they smash.
Oh.
See, this one just has a bunch of question marks in it, so there's no indication. So it would be nice if it was a different color or a different pattern.
Also, that was the Mario, the sound effect when you get a coin.
Yes.
When you hit the block.
Yeah.
How is this game made? It blows my mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually remember it being being that many ripoffs.
I wonder if Culture Brain was like a subset of Nintendo.
Yeah,
no,
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Probably not.
Because we would see these characters like in Smash Brothers, or at least as trophies or something. Because
were these characters in any other games besides these two?
I don't think so.
So this was it.
Pretty sure this is it. Yeah.
Yeah. Although I like the character designs in general. Like even these enemies here, they're kind of interesting. Like, and they have faces.
They do look like Mario.
They do.
Mario with
horns.
Yeah.
Like a hat, like a devil hat. But at least they're big enough to have expression, you know?
I got this power up.
What is that, like a box of cigarettes?
That thing, I've never figured out what those were. I think if you get enough of those, you get a power up that allows you to destroy like the next difficult enemy in the game.
It's all very vague.
Right. The game's very vague, and I don't think there's too much more to be said.
No, I don't think so. But
it's just difficult to figure out. Just explain things to the player.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it without words. You definitely can. You can have the first level of this entire game be nothing but a very short tutorial teaching the player how to use all these different items. But or you could just read the instruction manual, because nobody ever throws those away or loses them.
Right.
And that is definitely a filing cabinet. That is the strangest thing. All right. I think we've seen enough. So that's it for our classic analysis on, what did we do today? Kung Fu
games.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.